say I'm Troy Olson with Rox Volleyball. I have Mike, Ryan, and Tracy with Epic United. Welcome. Down here
Thank
at
you.
Rox
Thank
Volleyball.
you to be here.
Appreciate y'all coming. So we're just going to talk a little bit volleyball.
Sounds
Talk
good.
shop. So start with Mike. I think you got into volleyball a little bit before Ryan and Tracy. Is that true?
It is.
So when did you get in, and what possessed you to get into this mad sport of volleyball?
So interestingly, freshman year of high school, blew out my knee during football season, and started keeping stats for the girls volleyball team. And that's where I learned how to pass, and where I learned how to serve, and went to college and found out that guys play volleyball. Got really into it at Indiana University, and then when I came back, started playing in men's leagues and kind of got into coaching from there in the early 90s.
Very cool.
So
And then went from there right into the club scene?
did. First club was 1993. Got out of it for a few years, 2000 to 2003, and then started Altitude Volleyball, which is a part of Epic United Volleyball, in 2004.
Very cool. And then Ryan and Tracy, as a married couple, you chose to take a path of volleyball together.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, he started with Topspin before, so I can tell you the story about how I got into it, but you should start because your history is a little before mine.
I noticed how she put that out there, a little before mine.
Okay, yes. Little, like itty bitty, like teeny tiny. Volleyball for me started spring of senior year of high school because I was playing basketball every day down at the park, just running and having fun, and one day nobody showed up, and a friend of mine who was from Florida said, "Hey, let's go play volleyball." And I was like, volleyball. I was like, I'll give it a try, and then loved it, and played every day since. And of course, I started off, set me tight. Not really having and then learned the fundamentals and went from there and just loved it, and then ended up playing in college and went from there. And then coaching for me came, it was just a buddy of mine that said, hey, you'd make a good coach, you want to come coach? And I said, yeah, I'll give it a try, sounds like fun. And so that's where that started. And then our area was kind of, void a strong club, so some parents were actually putting a club together, and they had worked with me before and knew that I had coached and stuff and brought me in to be their volleyball knowledge for the club. So that's where Topspin started for me.
Very cool. And then you, obviously,
Right.
later down the road.
The club thing, yes. I went to a camp in 4th grade, a summer camp, just for something to do.
Was that big of a difference? Wow.
No.
She's starting back earlier.
I forgot you cared about the start of volleyball as well. Well, I had the privilege to start volleyball before these guys did, as far as in my life, and I was really good at it, and it was just something that, I went to my first camp and just excelled, and I, when you are good at something and people tell you you're good at it, then you really want to keep doing it. So I just kept going to camps and just doing volleyball whenever I could, and then it was probably a frustrating sport because you do rely on your whole team to be successful, but it was also so rewarding because when you all work together and you find that success. So I just love volleyball. And then as I played through high school and college, and then I went and learned the beach game, and that's even better. I touch the ball all the time. So and then Ryan and I started dating. We played indoor.
Met first league. On opposite sides of the net.
Yes,
playing
he was in
against
the
each
team
other.
that was the only team that could beat my team, and he was always, telling people to call their hands, and he was definitely
I don't remember that part.
a very loud and
I don't remember that part either.
Yeah, I don't think my first impression was, oh, we're gonna get married someday, but as
You might choke them out?
yeah, pretty much. I got to know him, and I realized there's a lot to him. So then we went on a date to Aurelio's, and I was asking him.
I travel a little better than that. It wasn't our first date. Wasn't at Aurelio's.
Yeah.
We went to the beach and played volleyball all day, and then on the way home we
Yes.
decided to get pizza.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And I said,
And I was just like, hey, explain to me the difference again between rotation and perimeter, because I had grown up always playing perimeter, and I just didn't. And so he took some sugar packets out, and then I was fell in love at that moment because he was, so into volleyball. And then I said, hey, if you're starting this club, do you think I can be a part of that with you? And he's like, sure. And then there you go. So
So you guys started the club before being married.
Yeah, we started Diamond Elite before getting married.
yeah.
And then, I'm sure that was just great talk going on around there. Oh, they're together. Now they're getting married.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was. There was people kind of lived that with us, and then when we
Right.
had our kids, and it was kind of cool.
Oh, cool. And then you all decided to powerhouse and
Yeah.
to merge together. So I hear that you have the story, which is very motivational.
I
and
don't
I'm looking
know.
forward to
But
hearing this.
I can tell you what happened. I'll start with
Okay.
there. So we Diamond Elite and Altitude competed against each other for years, and we had a good friendly rivalry where it was oh, those guys are doing that, we gotta, you know what I mean, and we kind of pushed each other in a lot of ways. Our first year we were real proud and had a 12s team. Like, okay, we're gonna do it right, start young, and then Altitude had 4 12s teams. So we're like, okay, well, we thought we were doing it right. We better step up our game a little bit. And there was, back and forth, and we went to each other's tournaments and stuff. And then, after the years go by, we decided, hey, they kind of believe the same things that we believe, and we kind of believe the same things that they believe. And so, we got together. Mike was actually the first one to suggest it. We got together and say, hey, if we do something together, we can bring something to the area that we can't do separately. We can bring more opportunities for kids to play on higher level teams. We can bring, with the more opportunities, we can bring other clubs closer to us, so we're not always getting up early and driving away, far away to, better for our kids and parents, and we can bring more college coaches to our area, and just do a lot of things together that were a lot harder separately. And because we had a similar belief structure and basically being here for the kids first, it really made a lot of sense to explore that. And so that's kind of what brought us together.
It did, and the more and more we got to know each other, I think that only strengthened that, kind of in it for the right reasons, and really believing that every kid, regardless of their ability, we could find, a level of volleyball for them to play. So that's one of the things we're really proud of at Epic is, we have open teams that compete at the highest level at nationals, but we also have opportunities for girls who are brand new to the game to come in and have the ability to learn our game and someday get up to that same level. But really, really proud of that. And as we talk more and more about that, we saw that together in a facility we call the Digs of Northwest Indiana, and just in Northwest Indiana, about 45 minutes outside of Chicago. That's kind of home base for us. And so we have Altitude and Diamond Elite sites in Illinois, and just really have been able to expand and bring volleyball to more and more people in our community.
Well, I congratulate you guys. You've done a great job, and we've had the pleasure, to watch you grow, and even more with Mike. Mike's been started as a customer with us at First Place Volleyball, and then was one of the first to jump into the Rox family, and has been with us from the beginning. So it's unique, and then we were honored to have you guys be a part of it too and join it and make one big, really a powerhouse. I think you guys are doing great. You're developing these kids, and you can tell that the passion and your heart is into the games, and I think that's what really shines more than anything, and that's why you put out such great athletes. So commend you on that.
Thank you. So we kind of wanted to maintain the identity of the original clubs. So what we decided was we would kind of sort of, geographically a little bit break up our club. So the Diamond Elite clubs are a lot more satellite orientated. They're a lot more to our western side, and then the Altitude clubs are a lot more centrally located at our home base and a lot more to our eastern side. So that way, if a parent or whatever doesn't want to drive 45 minutes to practice, she can definitely make sure that her child is trying out for the correct club. And then of course the Epic kids, we kind of practice wherever we tell them to. So that way we're divided up that way to help make things more convenient for parents. And then we're also divided up by different team types. As Mike alluded to earlier, some people are just getting into the game. So we want to make sure that we got half-season teams and lower cost teams for someone who I don't know if my daughter's going to play volleyball in college for the next 5 years, but she likes the sport and we want to find out. And so they can jump in earlier without giving up other sports. So that way, when they're ready to hit high school, they're not already so far behind. On the other hand, some kids they know they want to play volleyball, they know they're gung ho, they want to get looked at by colleges, and so we have teams designed for that. So it's kind of weird, but we're kind of divided in two different ways: one geographically and one by different team type. But it seems to be working for our parents. We get a lot of good feedback that they feel like they have options, and then that they really like that. So.
Well, it seems to be working. You guys are building a strong club, going to nationals. Well, how are we looking this year for nationals? What are you guys looking at?
Good. We got about 8 or 9 teams going to USA Nationals. We got about 5 or 6 going to AAU Nationals. We've had teams qualify every year for USA, and so things are going well. And we care more. We love our teams to do well. Don't get me wrong, but we care more about the individuals. And the kids are getting a lot of attention. The kids are having success. Kids are getting better. Kids are making their school teams. Kids are getting offers to play in college, and so we always got things to improve on. But right now, it's been a really good experience and a really rewarding experience for us too, because it's a really rewarding when your athletes obtain things that the sport has allowed them to do that they may not have gotten otherwise.
No, that's very cool.
Yeah, we're really excited about our younger ones too right now. Like our Epic 12s and our Epic 13s are really strong. I think maybe stronger than we've seen at those age levels. I feel like we are reached a new level with them, and as they continue to get older, we're going to see some really cool things.
The Epic
Future Olympians, right?
Yep. Yeah, you got it. Epic 13s mostly just have a really good coach. Is what it is.
Right.
Is what's really
That's
bringing
it.
what's really bringing them
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really pulled that team together. The quality of the coach that they have.
Let's see how you hold this in so you can show them the video, and then they're going to be
Yeah,
really
totally,
motivated.
yeah.
I got this.
So I think Tracy has a great point, and I think a lot of our success at the younger levels and almost raising the bar for that type of age group is that now we're starting as young as 4 years old with a program we call Volley Tots. And then next is Volley Kids, and then they actually go into 10 and under travel teams and half-season teams at the 10 and under level. So girls are playing the sport competitively at a much earlier age. Low pressure at that age, of course, but really just learn how to be part of a team, learning how to be athletes, and really just fall in love with it at a really, really young age.
Very cool. What would you say, what's your mission statement?
Provide an environment where kids can grow and love the game. Provide a good environment to allow that to happen, and that's great. I mean, hopefully help it along the way, but basically it's about the environment. And volleyball isn't for everybody, but we want to make that available and make sure that we're really teaching the fundamentals, but also teaching the love for the game. We all love to play, and and hopefully that carries through to the kids as well.
There's something about the sport that just kind of locks you in, don't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the three of us shared a similar philosophy that really did bring us together, was that we don't really have that elitist feeling where we only want to provide for the best kids, and we'll have kids from every level new to the game, and I love that. I don't ever want to say you're not good enough, you can't play the game of volleyball. I think it's ridiculous. So.
Yeah, I think I got, in our communication last night, and we were talking about some of the kids that you had, just the one girl who just brings up is the girl that was getting herself to practice and stuff that you guys do to help the kids, even if they need that extra help. That says a lot, and I think, I see a lot of that in the clubs that we meet with, and I think I always say, people that are alike seem to work together alike, So it's like, that's kind of, I always feel like our partnership is we all kind of have the same views and how we want to do and how we want to succeed in life. It's not always about the dollar or always about being the best, but it's about providing the best and being the best person you can be. And I think that's what you guys do, and that's what you provide onto your kids, and that's what's awesome about it.
There's also a lot of ancillary services that I think are important in a club as well. You mentioned, some people have trouble affording to play a sport like this, and so we spend quite a bit of time on fundraisers and just ways that an individual, girl or boy, can go out and earn money to play, so that there's never I can't play because I can't afford to pay the fees. And so we spend a lot of time on that. We also have invested in 2 college recruiting coordinators, really just to take the mystery out of that whole process, and starting as young as in 8th grade, start preparing them for, here's what, if you're interested in playing college, here's the steps. Here's what you're going to see, and help guide them through that process. And it's been very exciting. We've seen many Division I coaches at our practices this last few years, and it's very, very exciting to see. Former Olympic coach.
That's right. I feel like they were all there, but I'm sure they weren't. But I just felt like it. We have a recruiting night where we have a practice, and we invite a bunch of college coaches, and we time it right so they might be coming to Chicago anyway for tournaments. And some years not a lot come, some year a lot come. This year, we had 20 or 25, and it was like the who's who of the Division I came in, and so that was nice to see for the kids, and I know they were excited about it. And then some of the tournaments we host too, we've got some pretty good turnouts. And so.
Yep, and again, back to volleyball for everyone. A lot of Division I coaches, but a lot of Division II, Division III, NAIA.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So across the board, and those college recruiting coordinators did a great job of networking, and any girl who wants to play, you know, they'll have options, and they go through a long process of helping them understand what colleges might be for them, and based on what their interest is in school and in areas of the country. It's just really neat extra service that we provide to help them take that next step.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into our business. Uniforms. How important is uniforms to a club?
Extremely important. Yeah, you want to have people look at your team and say, wow, they look good, you know, they look tough. And also it's something that the kids all get excited about, I guess. So it's a unifying thing that we have.
I think it's important in a couple of ways. You know, I think one, there's the whole adage, look like a team, dress like a team, play like a team. So just that whole, you know, subliminal message to the team, you know, we look good, you know, we're all the same, you know, I mean, it's sharp. Obviously there was some, you know, care and attention put into how we appear that helps reflect on how they play. And then there's a whole different, avenue, which is kind of a bonus, which is just, you know, people looking at your team and seeing how they look and seeing how they're sharp and helping to draw other kids to the club. And so it's two separate, but you know, huge benefits to what helps make us and other clubs successful. So
Yeah, that's what I've always felt. You know, I played sports with myself as a kid growing up, and I knew that I had my favorite pair of shoes or I had my favorite shirt, and that's what I wanted to wear. If I wore it, mentally I felt like I was ready to go. If I didn't have it, sometimes I just didn't feel right. I mean, I make sure I go through my bag, I'd be like, oh, where's these shorts? I mean, you freak out, you know, it's mentally, okay, now I'm not even, sports does have a mental play in it. So I think it is very true when you say, and that's what we look at, is if you look good, you play good. And I think that's what, you know, we've always looked for, so we wanted to. But on top of, then our next thing is and you've been with us, like I said, for I don't know, 17 years, something like that. It's we probably shouldn't even say how many years. We're about past that point. We're just been together and we're doing business long enough. So, but on top of it, it's really getting someone that knows the business. I mean, do you feel that is it important to have a team dealer or a manufacturer that understands your business versus someone that's just selling you a uniform?
I've really valued the Rox partnership over the years, and Danielle Olson has convinced me to get out in front of some things where I said, there's no way people are going to want that. And she's like, Mike, trust me on this. This is what's coming. And I always did. And as a result of that, you know, we always were among the first to wear the hot, new, cool things. And it takes me back to 4 years ago when we first decided to merge. I remember one of the first things Tracy said to me was, this is cool, now I'm a Rox Club too. Remember that? So, you know, people notice, and, you know, I think it's exciting, I think it's differentiating, and it's really, really neat what Rox has done in the industry to kind of shake it up and bring some color and some fashion to what used to be a very, very basically uniform sport.
Yeah, I remember. Well, if I go back to my high school days, I wouldn't want to say that. I want to offend the girls I went to school with. But it wasn't that attractive. But it's awesome. Good job. Anything you guys want to shout out to your players, your kids? Do you know that, you know, so when your kids get a little bit older, they'll be able to Google you and they're going to be able to see you and say, oh, there's mom and dad.
Yeah.
30 years ago. Oh my gosh, look how young they look.
Awesome.
Oh.
Just a big thank you to you guys and to Michelle Wheeler, who's been there with us the whole way. Does a fantastic job and helps us to stay organized and keep ahead of this. And then a big shout out to my two partners here. You know, it's very, very exciting to see where we've taken this with Epic United, and it wouldn't happen without these two.
No, we don't happen without you.
As well.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, we appreciate you guys, and I always say we're only as good as our customers, and that's, you guys make us look good. So we appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming down.
Thank you.
All right.